Tanner, I'm gonna start out with number 5 on my list, Pokemon. As a whole, as a game, as anything, I'd like to hear your take on it, but Pokemon has never caught my attention. It's never something I've been hyped about. I couldn't tell you the difference between red, blue, yellow, green, periwinkle, whatever. I just think the idea is boring, where you're just like pressing attack. You just click once and it attacks for you. Um, Never understood the story of it. Never cared to learn it. I don't know. What do you think? Number
Um,
5. Okay, so back off.
yeah. So it's funny. My number five was Pokemon. Uh, yeah. The series as a whole, that's one of, my
Yeah.
my series I think is overrated. I've played two games that I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
I've played Pokemon Red and I've played Pokemon Leaf Green. And
Ooh.
I'm guessing, Pokemon Red, from what I've seen, is one of the more popular in the franchise, and I couldn't get into it, and it's nothing against it. I mean, it's nothing against the people that do enjoy it. It's to each their own.
No,
Um,
no, that's not what this video is. If you enjoy these games, you're an idiot. And some of
yeah,
these games, I enjoy some of them. I'm not gonna say they're not overrated.
yeah. So at number four, I have not the series because I haven't played the whole series, but Fallout New Vegas in particular. I played about 3 to 4 hours of that game. I heard a lot, and of course I was late to the party playing it. But I've heard a lot about it, and I was hyped to play it, and I was very disappointed with it. I don't know if it's just because I'm not totally into the whole Bethesda. I mean, I
Yeah.
think Skyrim's a banger, but
See,
outside of Skyrim, I'm not a fan.
yeah. I didn't put that on my list, but now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I played the only one I've played is Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I've seen Josh, our friend Josh, talks about New Vegas like it's the best.
Hmm.
4 and Jake, our other friend Jake, shout out to Jake and Josh. Not the show, Drake and Josh. But no, Fallout 4, I played it and I was like, the beginning was awesome, because the nuke goes off. You get to see that, but I just don't understand. I don't understand the hype around it. I thought it was way more boring than, like you said, like Skyrim. Like how encapsulating the environment was. 76 was a colossal failure for even Fallout fans.
Right.
So, is the entire series of Dark Soul, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, um, game game looks cool. Uh, I've played, and I'd say if Josh watched this, he'd be like, "You didn't play it enough. You didn't play the right ones. Whatever." I just don't get it. It looks boring. The fighting, everyone raves about the fighting mechanics. How the bosses get harder and harder and harder. But to me, a game that is just dodge, attack once, and then the health bar goes from the whole screen down to just an inch, and then it goes down an inch and down an inch and down an inch with every attack, and it just kind of gets repetitive.
Genuinely enjoyed my time with Elden Ring. It's a game I haven't finished, but I would say I put anywhere from 25 to 35 hours in it, and I did like the fighting mechanic. Um, and it's one of those games, where the difficulty's there to the point where, it makes you mad, but it makes it that much better whenever you progress. So
I get
I
that.
like that game a lot, and that is actually a game that I plan on going back to very soon.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the idea of failing. I mean, I guess it would feel good, uh, to fail 100 times and then finally beat it. But then again, I'm
Right.
thinking of like games like Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, where it's so frustrating to play that you almost
Hmm.
quit and then go
Right.
back to it. I just don't think that would be a fun idea.
So my number three, this is whenever it gets into the really big, the really big games, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate for it, but my number three most overrated game is Warzone. As Call of Duty as a whole, um, I mean, that it's just the repetitiveness. And they did try something different with Warzone, but it's the whole battle royale thing that I can't get through. I think there's literally one battle royale that I like, and it's Apex. Um, but Warzone, I just never understood the hype. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of my friend group is still huge on Warzone. I just never understood why.
Yeah, I mean, it came out right when Fortnite was at its peak and Apex was at it. Well, it's kind of peaked again, but and so is Fortnite. But when they were BRs were peaking, I think it just became stale, and the movement has become stale. And I personally agree with you. I think Warzone, even not Warzone 2, the movement people hate. People hate the how quick it is to kill people, all that. I thought Warzone 2, the movement was kind of just like broken, and personally, it wasn't fun to sit there and spam slide canceling over and over and over to have this crazy movement. When you don't need that in COD. You've never needed that in these big Call of Duty games like the old Black Ops, the old Modern Warfares. It wasn't slide canceling, trying to
Right.
move as fast as possible. Number three is a personal one for me. It's Outer Wilds. Have you played that at all? You ever watched it or?
Mm-mm.
So that, if I'm mistaken, it won Game of the Year or it came in second. It's like Fallout, where you go to point A to point B and you do the missions. And Josh, will mention him again. He loves this game through and through. It's one of his favorite games of all time now. But when I played it, I thought it was the most boring thing. I felt like there were so many dialogue spots, like I was reading a Harry Potter book, just clicking, going to the next one. And that killed that game for me. We'll go into number two. I'll start it off with this one. And this is a genre, not a game specifically, not even a series specifically. Any sports game that has ever been made since probably 2014 on, what I hate, and with all these sports games I hate, is the ultimate teams. That's one of the main things I hate, is that it's pay to win now. You play 2K where you have to pay to get up to a 90
Yep.
unless you want to grind it, start from 60 up to 90. It's horrible. But they've lacked creativity. I mean, there's a YouTube video on Madden that I've mentioned before where there's over like 100 different options and features of old Maddens, like Madden 2008, that isn't in the new Maddens, where you could
Mhm.
create your own dynasty. You could customize the stadium. You could customize the turf. You could customize the jerseys, the name, the everything. You could make a whole team based on you, your mom, your dad. Your dad's at quarterback, your mom's the center, and you're out on wide receiver, and your team's the Holbrook boys are running the. You're running the NFL. Like, it's just so fun, and it was so inventive. And
I agree with you. While the genre is not on my list, I do agree with you. Those games are pay to win, and I'm guilty of paying to win.
oh yeah.
Uh, Especially with 2K. It's a new one drops. I have buddies that want to play, and you can't. Everybody that's played NBA 2K knows that you can't go to the park as a 60 overall or a 70 overall.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you got to get there, and the only grinding you do is for the badge fact or the badge mechanic. But that's where my number two comes in, and it's
Yeah.
Fortnite. Uh,
Oh. Ah.
yeah, that one's gonna hurt a lot of people, I'm sure. But with that being said, I thought the first year and a half that Fortnite was out, greatest thing ever. But now, not just because it's died down, but I don't know, it just something about the try harding, and I think the competitive scene really hurt that game in my
Yeah.
eyes. With the building. I remember the fun I had on it was hiding in bushes, um,
Yeah.
and waiting until you were the last two squads alive and convincing your duo to go up on somebody's base that is clearly more prepared for this fight than you are. They knew what they were doing with the free to play game. Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that goes back to when I was saying the microtransactions. That's when microtransactions went crazy, was when Fortnite's free and oh, let me buy this new skin that came out. But I will half agree with you. I do agree with you that it's just kind of boring to play when everyone is building these huge 3-story, 4-story homes in the first point 0.5 of a fight. You know, it's kind of, it deters, it especially deters new players. I wouldn't say it ruined itself, but I mean, it's such a crazy idea building at the time. So no one could have saw it happening like this, where everyone's cracked out of their minds.
My number one most overrated game of all time is GTA 5.
Mmm.
Yeah, I just didn't care.
Wow.
I mean, as a kid playing San Andreas, that was the only Grand Theft Auto game I truly cared about. It was the only game in the whole series I mean, that I had fun playing. And it wasn't even something like I had fun doing the missions. I didn't spend my time on the story. I ran around committing
Mass
acts
genocide
of
and.
mass genocide and Grand Theft Auto. I think Rockstar is the most overrated game dev
But
of
you
all
love
time.
Red
I
Dead Redemption
I love Red Dead, but they
and
are
the
more known
second one.
for GTA than
Yeah.
the Red Dead series, and that's why I think they're overrated.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, Red Dead 2 is my top two games of all time, so
Yeah. See that I will agree with you. I think it's a game that has very little, I should say, replayability. The campaign I thought was amazing, very awesome to follow. So many side storylines. I think GTA and Red Dead really encapsulate the open world slash main story guideline where you can go open world, but there is this main story with such a deep, real story behind it that you're going to want to bounce back and forth. Online, I think, is the most boring stuff I've ever seen. I've never got into the role playing. I've never watched it and thought, this is awesome. I've never thought, oh, I want to be a police officer in a video game with my partner being a 12-year-old from Kansas. When I tried online, I went and did a few races, and then I got off of it and played something else. My number one most overrated series is Call of Duty. Since Black Ops 4 has been just the downfall of Call of Duty as a whole. Modern Warfare 2019 was the worst Call of Duty I have ever seen. I played it. I'm a Call of Duty guy. I still play Modern Warfare 2, the new one that's out. It sucks. But when Modern Warfare came out, it sucked so bad, I played it for maybe 3 weeks. And I've never done that with a COD before. Terrible design, slow play, built for campers. Everything you can imagine that's wrong with the COD was in that. Cold War, me and you love that game. The zombies, though, although it was a cool storyline, it was a very boring zombies. It was a let's make zombies for babies. Vanguard is going back into World War II that a lot of people don't like. The good thing that was refreshing with Cold War was that it was made by Treyarch and it's vibrant colors. You can see the map, you can see everything's bright, everything's visible, the health bar. And then you get Vanguard and everything looks like mud.
Vanguard was the worst Call of Duty I had ever seen. Modern Warfare 2019 I did not like. Modern Warfare 2019's gunfight beats any other gunfight.
Yeah, I
With
do.
me not liking that game, I will say that that has the best gunfight. I had a lot of fun and put a lot of hours into gunfight, but outside of that, the game's bad. But with Vanguard, there was nothing that I enjoyed.
Black Ops 3, looking back at that game, the the campaign sucked. But The multiplayer was amazing. The map designs were amazing. They made maps based on objectives like hardpoint, search, control, dom. Like, they made them based on that and then made them fun. And then we get Modern Warfare 2, the latest one that's out. Everyone's hacking now. Now that COD's been on PC, I'm going on a rant. But anyways, the game is so overrated. They're so far from what made them COD. Well, guys, that was our top 5 list. Tell us what we did right, what we did wrong. Probably do some more of these where we compare top 5s of, games we're looking forward to, games we think are the best games of our lifetime, some different categories and all that. But so yeah, appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment what you guys want to see next.